listening to Proof Text, a GlossaHouse podcast by Dr. T. Michael W. Halcomb, Dr. Frederick J. Long, Dr. Mario Melendez, Dr. Jennifer Noonan, and J. M. Smith. Welcome and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Proof Text. I am Michael Halcomb, and in this episode, I'm thinking about three things, and I'm going to share those three things with you. Now, as of late, because GlossaHouse has been pushing toward the finish line for the annual Society of Biblical Literature meeting, which is always a big deal for us, we've been attempting to push as many books across the finish line, the printing finish line, as possible. And that means for a lot of these three things videos the last, I don't know how many weeks, I've been sharing with you essentially three new books. And the same will be true in this episode. So what I'm going to do is, if you're watching, I'm going to show the GlossaHouse website, glossahouse.com, up on the screen. This will be a short video today. And I'll show you three new resources and just give you a peek inside of what each of those look like. I believe in the last one I talked about the wisdom of Sirach, and I mentioned that the book Behold Our King would be coming. And both of those are out. They're for sale on the GlossaHouse website here. But in between them, sandwiched in between them, we have three other resources. And two of those have to do with Greek, and one of those has to do with the Old Testament. So, in fact, one of them has to do with extra biblical literature. One of them has to do with the New Testament. One of them is focused in the Old Testament. So let's start with the Old Testament. And what we're looking at here is the book, The Art of Biblical Performance Criticism, and the Drama of Old Testament Narratives. This is by Dr. Travis West. It is in the GlossaHouse dissertation series. It's number 14. And Wes and I, we've been doing a lot together for probably a decade in the performance criticism sections of the Society of Biblical Literature. So it's good to be working with him on this book. A great little book. You want to get your copy. The description says, for centuries, the Bible's essential identity as a book has been taken for granted by scholars and lay people alike. Over the past 100 years or so, the oral transmission of biblical material has been researched and advanced with great rigor. And today, many scholars accept the oral origins of the Hebrew Bible. However, for many of these scholars, their acceptance seems to be primarily intellectual as opposed to practical. Orality has not been integrated at a methodological level. This volume is one attempt to address that oversight. It argues that, with respect to the narratives, the ancient crafts of drama and performance are evident in the received texts, that they reach their fullest interpretive potential when they are reenacted through body and voice, in space and time, before a gathered audience. A fuller understanding of Israel's performance tradition, the art of biblical performance, will lead to a greater appreciation of Israel's dramatic and theological achievement. If we take a look at the table of contents here, we can see what's going on. We have Chapter 1. Part 1 is the foundation of biblical scholarship. Chapter 1, a genealogy of orality, looking at some very important figures here. Chapter 2, drama and performance. The genre of biblical narratives, reconsidered. Looks at some really good stuff there. And if we just take that's not the whole table of contents, just a snapshot of the first couple of chapters. And if we look, here's just a sample page from The Healing of Naaman. The book, the body or bulk of the book follows several scenes from the Hebrew Scriptures and looks at them from the performance critical standpoint, or through a performance critical lens. So you can see here what the book looks like inside. Great little book we have here from Travis West. We're excited to have it. It's a great cover, if I don't mind saying so myself. Very dramatic and striking. I designed it after all. This, by the way, is the sort of look of all the new dissertations, or all the dissertation series books. They've been redone. Another book, moving on to the sort of extra biblical literature, is First Enoch in Greek, an advanced Greek reader with a translation. You see Fred Long had a hand in this. If we look inside, just get a couple snapshots here. Here's a sample page of what the text looks like, and then down at the bottom you have your glosses and some explanations, that sort of thing. You have your translation helps, as well as morphological helps, and then we also have a full-on translation of First Enoch. So pretty cool. For those who are into like apocalyptic literature and that sort of thing, this would be a great book to have, and it'd be really a good step outside of biblical canonical literature to stretch folks with their Greek. Speaking of Greek, we have a New Testament Greek resource here. This is 1 Corinthians, a beginning and intermediate Greek reader, or beginning to intermediate Greek reader. This is by John Enzer. Now, you might remember that we have a color-coded version of this too, which is pretty cool. You can see it down here, Corinthians color-coded. So that when color codes all the different parts of speech. This one doesn't do that. I personally like the non-color coded one better, but this, you'll see, it looks similar to the Enoch one. There's our text, 1 Corinthians 13. This is a sample page. Down below we have our glosses, our morphological helps, some translation helps, and so on. If we can look here at vocabulary by frequency. So that's a nice feature as well. So very cool. So those are the 3 resources we have at GlossaHouse right now that are new, fresh off the press within the last few days. The Art of Biblical Performance by Travis West, Dr. Travis West. 1 Corinthians, a beginning intermediate Greek reader by Dr. John Enzer. And First Enoch in Greek by Dr. Fred Long and several of his students in the PhD program, I think. Perhaps maybe master students, I don't know, but some of his students there at Asbury Seminary. All right, so yeah, head over and pick up your copies of all 3 of these. So it'll be great books for you to have. And I would say, we send out one monthly newsletter, and it has all kinds of good stuff in it, but one of the best things about it is that it has discount codes. Like the most recent one that we just sent out this past weekend has discount codes for all of our Psalms related products and resources. So you should go over to GlossaHouse.com and sign up for the newsletter so you can get those monthly emails. It's just one a month. We don't share your email. And you'll get all these deals. You'll get all kinds of news, some important links, and things like that. So check that out. And if you would subscribe to our channel, like this video, reshare it, let others know about it. And I'm going to stop there and say I hope that helps.
Interested in growing your ancient language skills but not sure where to start? GlossaHouse can help. From illustrated readers and short stories to lexicons and grammars, GlossaHouse offers a variety of resources for beginning, intermediate, and experienced ancient language learners. Head to glossahouse.com today. GlossaHouse, language resources for the global community.